The mission of our club is to create a positive and supportive learning environment in which each member has the opportunity to develop verbal communication and leadership skills, which foster personal growth. This meeting is being recorded, and I have to accept on my screen. Good evening, Jean. Welcome all and sundry.
Sorry.
Tonight's Toastmaster, I need to look it up.
Me.
This is where you discover the things that you need to prepare better for.
I think I heard an Alex Givens. Me.
Yeah.
Alex, please take over and run the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and viewers at home. I'm very excited about our meeting tonight. We have a prepared speech by our friend Raul, and we have an exciting theme for our table topics, and the theme for tonight is luck. But first, I will start by introducing tonight's role players, and we'll start with Bob as our timer. Bob, could you please explain your role tonight?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and viewers at home. My role this evening as timer will be as such. With our prepared speech this evening, it will be, I will show the green card at 6 minutes. And at 7 minutes, or 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I guess I should look. Yes. And then I will show the yellow card. And then at 7 minutes, I will show the red card. Our table topics will be 1 to 2 minutes. And at 1 minute, I will show the green card. And at 1.5 minutes, the yellow. And 2 minutes, the red. You'll have 30 seconds to think about before you discuss it and 30 seconds to follow it up. Our evaluator this evening, are we going to do 3 to 4? Or are we going to do, how are we going to do that?
The speech evaluator is pretty much always 2 to 3.
Okay.
And then we'll see how the table topics is.
All right. So our speech evaluator, at 2 minutes, I will show the green. At 2.5, yellow. And at 3, red.
That would be good. I'd like to double check with Rahul to make sure that the timing that you just called out, Bob, is what he is expecting.
Yes, Rahul.
So my agenda says 4 to 6, but I'm okay 6 to 8 if people feel that it's okay for me. So everybody, Art, you guys.
Rahul, you're cutting out. Rahul, you've definitely cut out.
I'll change my I'll log out, log back again, and log in from my usual setup.
Okay. But honestly, Bob, the agenda has 4 to 6 minutes in it. If you're looking at the agenda, that's what Rahul's project is.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so I'm okay if we remain to 4 to 6, that's fine with me. So Bob, let's just do.
Okay. I apologize. I printed out the new timesheet and it says 5 to 7. I don't have the old timer sheet, and that's where it says 4 to 6. I wasn't able to get it.
Always look at the agenda, Bob, because the time can change depending on what the speaker is doing and the speech and the project. So you can't just go by that timer sheet. It's just.
I will log out and be back.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
So we're on the same page. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and 30 seconds to wrap.
Very good. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. Bob is also our joke master, and he will make us laugh at the end of the meeting after the table topics.
There we go.
We have Donna as our counter. Tell us a little bit about your role.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests at home. My role as the counter is to keep track of words like you know, so, like, and any custom filler words and or overused words, repeats and such. And I'll give my report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you so much, Donna. Donna is also our table topics master, and she will be presenting the questions to us in a little bit. We also have Raul as our grammarian, but I think he's just logging out. So should we wait a little bit for him to explain his role?
I'm wondering if he's aware that he is the grammarian. I feel a little badly because when you're trying to do a speech, that's really what you want to be focused on.
I could maybe do that, or I could do it, not maybe.
Okay,
I was
Art?
Or
stepping up to say I could be grammarian.
what is Donna's role? Because Art, you're the evaluator.
He's the evaluator.
She's the out counter and she's the table topics master.
That's kind of a lot too.
well, I'm already the counter, so I'll already be listening for
For
filler
us.
words. Yeah,
Oh,
right,
okay.
exactly. As I say, so I guess it'd be a natural extension to do the grammarian.
Okay, so you're the counter, that your table topics master. Yeah, so when you're table topics master, you give your question and then you can focus on what's being said. So that's helpful.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, with Donna doing it? Okay. Okay.
So just have to come up with a word now.
Mhm.
We can help in that respect.
Mhm.
I was going to suggest serendipity.
Oh, that's a good word.
Serendipitous. It's an adjective.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
there
Is it
you are.
better?
Much better.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my old laptop has some mic issue and I should have tested it before.
Okay. Rahul, we were just, while you were working on your technical part, we were just figuring out who could be the grammarian. You may not have even seen that you were also the grammarian.
Oh,
It's
I am so sorry. I did not see that.
okay. Okay. So you focus on your speech, and
Okay,
we're already in Plan B mode. So
okay. Thank you.
yeah. Donna's got, so all right, Donna's, I'm handing it back to our Toastmaster, Alex. You can take it from here.
Yeah, so let's have Donna then introduce her role as a grammarian and the word of the day.
Thank you. As a grammarian, I will be keeping track of interesting turns of phrase, words that are unique, as well as the word of the day, which is serendipitous, to mean occurring or discovered by chance in a happy or beneficial way. Also, I will give a report at the end of the meeting and tell us who said the word of the day or not.
Thank you so much, Donna. We also have Jean as our general evaluator, and she will be giving her report after the table topics. Tonight we'll have a prepared speech, and now I would like to introduce our speaker for tonight. Raul Vats is a distinguished Toastmaster who has traveled far and wide in Toastmaster organization. He started at the Golden Speaker and then traveled to West California, visiting and attending the Smedley Club 1. He has been part of numerous districts in Toastmasters. Today, he's attempting the icebreaker from the visionary communication path. The title of his speech is "But Why?" Now I will introduce our president, Art, to read the objectives of the presentation. Art.
Thank you, Alex. Rahul's speech entitled BUTWI that is probably an acronym, and one of the things that he is looking for is that we understand that he has explained properly this title. He's doing an icebreaker. So the project is designed for him to introduce himself to the club and to learn something about the basic structure of a public speech that he does not already know well. Rahul is an old friend, a former Golden Speaker, as he said, who has traveled far and wide in the world of Toastmasters, and that maybe is what is going to lead him to explaining what the BUTWI acronym or title means. He also has given me a couple of other points to be watching for, in addition to the usual things for an icebreaker. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Art. So now we will introduce the speaker. We have Rahul with the title of his speech, But Why? But Why, Rahul?
According to most studies, people's number one fear is public speaking. Number two is death. Death is number two. Does that sound right? This means to the average person, if you go to a funeral, you're better off in the casket than doing the eulogy. Knowing humans, this shouldn't be surprising. I have been told this many a times, and I've mentioned this, that we have all these problems because we are weirdly obsessed with what the other people think of us. So it makes sense that public speaking should be collective phobia for everybody in the society, in this world. But why? Hello, friends. Good evening, respected Toastmaster, guests, and viewers at home. But why? It's a good question. It's a great question, in fact. My name is Rahul Vats. I'm from a town called Adjourned in Madhya Pradesh, India. Growing up, I've always been very inquisitive in nature. Kids ask a lot of questions. Do you know how many questions a 4-year-old asks? Anyone? Well, some studies show that a 4-year-old asks as many as 300 questions a day. In fact, in a trivia game called Wits and Wedger, the answer is close to 387 questions being asked by a kid on a daily basis. My mom said I used to ask around 1,000 questions on a daily basis. Friends, this is a very interesting theme. As a kid growing up, we have been very inquisitive. Somewhere, somehow, in our journey of becoming adult, we lost that touch to being that inquisitive, to being like a child. I would like to share a story of one of my visits to India. In 2013, my brother died in a car accident in India on the day of Diwali. I was working in a company in California at that time, and I was on a visa, and I was in the process of a visa transfer from Genetic ID in Fairfield, Iowa to Club Speed Inc. in Corona, California. When I got the news, I told my company that my brother has died and I had to visit India. And the company said that you can either stay here or you can choose to go to India. But if you go to India, you will not be able to continue the work. You will lose your job. I didn't ask the question, but why? I just said, okay, fine, I will leave. I have to be with my family at this time. And I left. When I reached India, after everything that was happening in my family at that time, I settled down. We spent so many time missing my brother, talking about his story, things that he used to do, and other things. As the grief settled down and things get to normal, I noticed that one of the companies with which we used to get the cable, the television in India, was charging a hefty amount of price on the bill. That bill was in the order of around $200 a month. And I asked my mom, but why is there this charge? Mom said she doesn't know. And turns out that somehow the cable company had done a phone call to my parents about 8 to 10 months ago and had asked them if they want to subscribe for a free service, which was in trial period. And they said yes, but then they didn't tell them that when the trial service would be over, they would be charged that much money. So I began finding out about what it is and how it happens. Turns out that there were around 8 million families in India who were getting charged that amount without even knowing, without even asking the question, why? But why? And that led to me in asking another question and on a journey where I went through paper reporting these findings with various organizations in India and setting up a company called BUTWI, which when pronounced would be spelled or pronounced as but why. And in this company, in this organization, in this nonprofit, if you may say, I started helping people who don't have the right resources to information and are going through the routine without realizing what they are going through, what they are paying through, because it's their hard-earned money. The company that was charging BSNL Hungama, my mother, the $200 on a monthly basis, had charged that amount to 8 million families in India without them even knowing every month. So I did something while I was in India, which helped them recover that money. It was a process. And in that process, I learned a lot of things. And I understand and I learned that asking questions at times is very, very critical. Flash forward, when I returned to US, I wanted to start this company in US, this organization in US too. But I'm on a visa and I can't. Again, I didn't ask that question, but why? Why can't I, on visa, start a company? Slowly and steadily in my journey since my return to US in 2014, I've seen various issues which are happening, including everything that the world has gone through with the COVID in last 1.5 years, where it makes sense for me to ask these questions, but why? I'm hoping that I would be able to start my company BUTWI, but why, here in US, if I am able to raise sufficient infrastructure for it in next 1 year, and hopefully able to help and support a lot of people from going through the pains of parting away with their hard-earned cash, parting away with their resources, parting away with various things without even realizing why. But why? Friends, fellow Toastmasters, this was a short introduction to me. I have been very inquisitive in nature growing up. I lost that touch somewhere in the journey of becoming an adult, but I'm hoping that I'll return to my roots as a kid and will be asking a lot of questions, but why? And with PUTWI, I'm hoping that I would be able to help a lot of people in asking the same question, but why? Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Great job with your presentation, with your speech. Bob, can you give us 2 minutes so we can all send our evaluation to Rahul?
Yes.
We are all ready. We can move to the next question. Are we, Art is the evaluator. Art, would you like to do the evaluation after the table topics?
I'm ready to go now.
You're ready to go now? Okay. So let's have Art giving the evaluation of the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And thank you very much, Rahul. That was brilliant, funny. May I see a show of hands? Is there anybody who doubts that they got a flavor for who Rahul is from this icebreaker? Is there anybody
Yeah.
who feels like they really understand something about him very deep? This was beautifully designed. I love the way you used the theme of but why to tie together the beginning, the body, and the end of the speech. From the first time that it shows up in your life as a 4-year-old, asking 380 questions a day, to the time when you notice a piece of commercial malfeasance and decide to pursue it rather than let it lie and end up recovering 8 million families money. That would be a major coup in the USA to recover $200 a month for how many months, for how many 8 million families. But to do so in India, where those $200 were in all probability a much heavier load, that's a major accomplishment. And I'm in awe of what you accomplished. The thing that I'm more excited about is the way in which you present the plan to pursue this tendency to ask, but why, here in the USA, and to launch similar initiatives in the USA. So besides tying together the speech, I like the fact that you employed humor in the very opening with the being better and better off in the casket. I like the fact that you were using short, punchy sentences as you described the behavior of a 4-year-old. Short, punchy sentences rather than long, elaborate ones. I noticed that you looked to the left and to the right. You kept within the frame of the camera. There was no particular use of hand gestures that I noticed. You had good English grammar in almost all cases. There was only one place where I thought there was something awkward, and I cannot remember what it was. I think you adequately, in fact, masterfully explained but why. It would have given the secret away had you spelled out WHY in the title. Overall, what this did was it excited me to recommend a particular book to you that I just finished reading about accomplishing enormous objectives that appear impossible. I want to thank you for this speech, and I will be sure to send you the information you need so you can get this book. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Art. And I would like to ask our timer, Bob, if our speaker qualified.
No, Art did not qualify.
The speaker,
No, our speaker did not qualify.
thank you.
Mhm.
We're going to move on to our table topics with our table topics master, Donna. Take over.
Thank you. So for tonight, our theme is luck. And I had some fun coming up with questions for this theme. I have questions from 1 to 9. I'm sure we won't get through all of them, but I thought to give plenty of variations. That being said, who would like to go first? Alex. Okay, 1 through 9.
Let's do number 3.
If luck is about being prepared when an opportunity comes along, what is happening when you have bad luck? Is bad luck simply poor preparation?
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters and viewers at home. This is a very great question. And my answer would be, it depends. It depends if bad luck, I think it's not only a lack of preparation, but maybe what we desire shouldn't happen in the first place. Maybe it's a stroke of luck if it doesn't happen. Sometimes we force situations in our lives because we believe is the best for us or because we want it that way. But maybe life, destiny has a different purpose and things seem to go wrong or seem not to happen the way we desired. And we might classify that as bad luck. But in reality, maybe not getting that desire in the first place and allowing life to just take you to where you are supposed to be is the best thing that could possibly happen. So I would say that it depends. It depends. I wouldn't say that bad luck, it's a lack of preparation. I think it's just life giving us an opportunity to just surrender and allow it to just happen. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very lovely. Good answer. I could have never thought of that. Who would like to go next? Bob. We have 1 to 2 and 4 to 9.
I'll go with 2, but would someone like to time me?
I can time you, Bob.
Okay.
Are you ready, Alex, to time?
Yes, let me just,
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Was there ever a time where you thought you had no hope, but you got lucky and something changed for the better?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home. Ever thought bad luck was my way and I had no way out, no hope? I think that question has been asked so many times in my life, particularly. I believe one of the worst things when I felt I had no hope is when I had went through my first divorce, lost my children, lost everything. All I had was this old beater of a car. The windshield leaked and it had a hole in the seat. And every time I sat in it, it was soaking wet. I moved into a little one-room apartment and all I had was a love seat because it wasn't big enough to have a couch in it. And my brother felt sorry for me. He gave me an old TV. It was one of those box TVs. And all it was as red as Rahul's shirt. That's all you could see, little things going across there. And I munched on hot dogs because I really had no money. And that I was about to lose hope. But through that hopeless situation, I found something inside of me that I did not know exist. And that was the ability, so to speak, to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, to know who you are, to know what you could do. And I could do a lot more in my life than I was actually doing. And it was good to get out there and sweat. It was good out there to face the emotional hurdles that I was experiencing. It was good to get just out there and see what was coming my way. And whatever came my way, knowing that I'm going to fight through this one way or another. I'm tired of being down. I'm going to look up and I'm going to go up. I once heard, if you can land on your back and you can look up, then you can get up. I was definitely on my back, but I did get up. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, who would like to go next? Rahul. We have number 1 and we have 4 through 9.
Number 1.
Okay, good choice. In your opinion, is this quote from Denzel Washington true? I say luck is when an opportunity comes along and you're prepared for it. If you need me to repeat the question, I can repeat. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Good evening, friends, fellow Toastmasters, and viewers at home. Denzel Washington very famously and very nicely said that luck is when an opportunity meets preparation. I 100% agree with this statement. I feel there are some things in the world which are not in your control, but giving up, quitting, saying you cannot do it is easy way out. Fighting for what you want, preparing yourself for those tough times, preparing yourself for the better makes you the fighter, the warrior, the person that stands out and shine. Denzel Washington's career has been the example of such thing. I've had stories of numerous people who are down and out on luck, including myself. It was just about doing the right thing with proper preparation. As I said before, and I've talked about it, one of the toughest time in my life had been when my brother died in car accident in India. I lost my job. I was in India without any sort of financial support or backing. Like I had my family, but I was not earning a lot. And I stumbled upon an opportunity where I saw that many people were unjustifiably getting robbed out of the hard-earned money that they had. And that opportunity, I just met with some preparation that I have done in my past and went for it, fought it, and got those people the justice that they deserved. So I agree that luck is when preparation meets an opportunity or an opportunity meets preparation. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thanks, Rahul. Anyone else? Jean. We have questions 4 through 9. 4. Okay. What function does the concept of luck serve for our society?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters. I think luck in our society is a first cousin to hope. Luck, as some of the quotes on the agenda state, really happens more frequently when you have worked hard to prepare yourself and have developed skills to take advantage of opportunities. But there is this somewhat serendipitous feeling to luck, just that random feeling of, wow, out of the blue, something great just happens, and maybe it could happen to me. I think in society, and particularly now, it's very well documented, there's a lot of inequality in incomes. The mobility, upward mobility has slowed substantially. There are reasons that people could feel just, well, what is the point? They might ask, but why am I feeling so depressed? Thank you, Rahul. But in any case, having luck, the concept of luck, and of course this gets played out with the popularity of the lotteries and people getting all excited and having the publicity of winners, is maybe if I'm just lucky enough, my life can turn around. I would say then that luck, similar to hope, keeps the spirits buoyant, uplifted. The cup is half full, attitude. So maybe it's a positive element to have in our society, even if it only strikes a small, lucky group.
Thank you. That was a creative answer to that question. I was kind of hoping that you would get that question funnily enough, and you luckily got it. Or
I feel
perhaps
so lucky.
serendipitously.
I feel so lucky.
Well, thanks. We still have questions 5 through 9. Who would like to go next?
I think we've hit the time on the
Oh, okay.
schedule. Is that right?
What does our Toastmaster say?
We have 2 minutes, right? To the evaluation, and we have time for one person to go.
Toastmaster has spoken.
The questions are very good.
Thanks.
If anyone wants to go.
Just have Art or Dan.
Well, I'll go if somebody will evaluate me.
Who will evaluate Dan?
I will, but I know I've already lost because I disqualified once, so I can't possibly win if I qualify now.
Yeah, and you're just doing a dessert evaluation. You're not doing a full-fledged meal. Not to get your hopes up, but you could get lucky.
Well, we have questions 5 through 9.
7.
7, okay. Let's put aside preparation for a minute and try a thought experiment. When things go right or wrong, is it luck or destiny?
Thank you, Madam Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. It's an interesting question. When things go right or wrong, is it luck or is it destiny? Now, we heard earlier from Alex with the opinion that destiny is often at play, and I would have to agree with that. I think you could also say, though, that even the point of view, the opposite point of view, that preparation creates luck has plenty of merit. And I'd go one step further and I would say that if you really think about it in terms of support of nature, then destiny and luck are a continuum. They're not different forces. Which one is it? It's the same. Support of nature is a little more abstract than just saying, I worked hard, I did 50 push-ups a day, and I ate all my broccoli, and then when the sun rose in a certain place, things worked out just right for me. I think you could also say that if you've developed your connection with nature, that things will tend to work out right for you more and more, just because nature is helping itself. You get to be a vessel for that fulfillment to happen. So it's not entirely serendipitous. It is a continuum of nature operating, bringing things to pass that you have created in your own awareness and allowed to come true. My final answer is that it's not luck or destiny. It's luck and destiny. Thank you.
I feel like I've gotten wiser from everyone's answers. I don't know how people answer so eloquently under the pressure. I don't think I've developed that kind of muscle yet. So props for everyone. And I'll hand the evening back over to the table, the topics, the Toastmaster, excuse me, Alex.
Thank you so much, Donna. And you absolutely have it on you. And the questions were amazing. Thank you so much. We will ask the timer, Bob, which speaker is qualified? You're on mute.
Bob, you're on mute.
My battery died.
Oh,
Oh, yes, where was I? Yes. Alex qualified, Rahul's qualified, Jean qualified, Dan qualified. Who timed me?
I
Did
did.
you?
You
Oh,
did qualify. Yeah, you also qualified.
And then we all qualified.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
And we can send the votes to the best table topics speaker. You can send them to me. Just put TT in front of it. And in the meantime, I'll hand the meeting over to our general evaluator, Jean.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I apologize in advance for any puppy barking. He's really got his energy up tonight.
3 to 4.
Would we like to do table topics evaluator at this point? And that would be Dan. Dan, are you ready then?
Yes.
Okay. And then how many table topics are there to evaluate?
I've got 4 to evaluate, so I think 2 to 3 minutes.
You can do it in 2 to 3?
It's unlikely that I can, but I should.
Okay. Aspirational.
Yes.
Yes.
If you get it in time, that would be serendipitous.
Yes, because he thinks he's not going to, but he's prepared, so maybe he'll get lucky.
Mhm.
I'm lowering expectations. Have you introduced me already? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I just said, Dan, are you ready? And you said, yeah, okay, okay.
Oh, that was
So
my
let-
introduction. Okay.
Yeah. So let's welcome Dan Craig, our table topics evaluator for the evening, and he's asked for 2 to 3 minutes, and that's what we'll do. Thank you. Mhm.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters. These were excellent table topics, great questions, great responses, very enjoyable to hear. Our first speaker was Alex, and she had an interesting take on the question, is bad luck just a matter of bad preparation? She greeted the audience. She began by saying, it depends. And then she told us that it may not be bad preparation. It may just be that destiny has a different path in mind towards something good. And that she finished with a good recap. So really quite an excellent structure, good answer. I think I would have liked you to say, instead of it depends, just to say, no, it's not bad preparation. It's destiny at work. Give us more of that angle. Bob was our second speaker. Was there ever a time when you had no hope, but you got lucky and things changed? Bob greeted the audience. Then he told us a story of how he had lost hope. And he really, in just a few words, painted a very grim picture. Finishing up with the red-hued TV. I mean, it just got worse and worse and worse. But as usual, Bob had a inspirational upside to his answer. And so he told us that he found something inside. He pulled himself up by his bootstraps. I thought the only way you could have improved for us, Bob, would be to say something particular about what you did to pull yourself together, a more specific episode or story of something that you did at that time. Rahul was our next speaker. He was asked if Denzel Washington's quote about luck being opportunity meeting preparation was true. He greeted the audience. He agreed with that statement. And I thought he had a good start to his talk. Plus and minus was that when he used the example of a time in his own life when he had bad luck, it was the same example that we'd heard in his speech. So it was a plus because it was really a great example. It was a minus because we had just heard the speech. So perhaps another variation on that would have been better at that time. And he finished with a good recap. So great job. And finally, Jean, what function does luck have for us in society? And she greeted the audience. She repeated the question. She told us that perhaps luck gives us the function of being uplifting, giving us hope, even if things are difficult. I thought the only thing that she might have improved was perhaps to organize her thoughts a little more at the beginning. I had the feeling that a number of ideas were thrown out and they all got there, but I didn't think they quite sequenced as well as they could. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. All right. Did our table topics evaluator qualify?
We have Art who will be evaluating Dan, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Art, you want to throw yours in?
Yeah, we have a dessert.
Dessert. Mhm.
Dan got the question, is it luck or destiny? He started out with, these are considered to be opposites. And the structure of his talk was to slowly bring these together and position them as the other opposite ends of a spectrum, of a continuum. What I liked about his talk was that he began with part of it in left field and part of it in right, and he slowly brought it together to be one continuum. I'm not sure that he realized that's where it was going when he started out. It was a discovery process, and the speech had the quality of being a discovery of the logic of it being on a continuum rather than having started out that way. He summarized it beautifully by saying it's one and the other, not one or.
Very good. That's very good. Thank you. All right, so back to, who's our
Eugene.
timer?
It's your,
What?
no, you're right there.
Okay. Who's our, is it Bob? Our
I'm the
timer?
timer. Yes.
Okay, did our table topics evaluator qualify?
No, I did not.
So that was a Dan. Okay. Okay.
You're calling out names now.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Evaluator B did not qualify. Okay, very good. All right, so we won't, also evaluator A did not qualify. Is that correct?
That is
I
correct.
missed that. Okay, so we don't have a vote on evaluators. Great. All righty. I think we're ready at this point then to move on to our reports. Let's go ahead and start with our, we might as well start with our timers report because we have Bob already warmed up there.
Starting off with our speech this evening, Rahul, it was 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Our evaluator, it was supposed to be between 6 to 7, or it could be
Oh.
4 to 6 minutes, excuse me. And Art, he was our evaluator. He was 3 minutes and 43 seconds. So he did not qualify. Alex, she was 1 minute 55 seconds. And this is table topics. Rahul was 2 minutes 16 seconds. Jean was 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And Dan was 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Our table topics evaluator, Dan, he was 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Oh,
Almost.
close.
And that's my report.
Thank you.
Bob's time for the table topics is 2 minutes and 11.
Okay, very good. All right, everyone was timed appropriately. Let's move on to our counter. We've got a double play here coming up. Our counter is Donna. You want to tell us how we did here tonight?
Thank you. Yes, Art didn't give a table topics, so I only caught something he said in the evaluation, which I thought was interesting. He said part of it left field and part of it right. So that's a unique kind of way of saying what Dan did. Rahul, he used the word inquisitive a few times. Interesting word. And he said 100% agree. He said unjustifiably. The few mistakes he did was he said twice, and he had a run-on sentence. So he used and to connect sentences. And I wanted to bring up something that I've learned recently with language is that we often say I feel when we really mean I think. Like people will say I feel that, and then they'll give an opinion. But I just wanted to bring out that instead of I feel, we could try to say I think, because I feel and then an opinion is not a feeling. Bob said and 4 times to connect sentences. He used an interesting phrase, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And he used a cool phrase, I'm going to look up and get up.
Mhm.
He also said and once each. Jean said first cousin to hope. What an interesting way of saying that. She also used and once to connect sentences, run on sentences. She said spirits buoyant. That was cool. And I think she had an incomplete sentence somewhere towards the end, but I can't recall exactly what it was. Dan said merit, cool word. And he used and as a connection, as a run-on. And he said destiny and luck are on a continuum, really interesting. He said abstract, cool word. And he repeated that twice, I believe. And he also had one, he said the inspirational upside. And I thought that was interesting. He also said more and then more. So he kind of repeated. Alex said, began a sentence, I think incorrectly, where she said, and my answer. I could be wrong as far as grammar, but I can't explain exactly, but the way she said it, I thought was incorrect. She also had 2 run-on sentences connected with and she used the word classify, which I thought was a good word. And she used just twice as a repeat. And that's my report for tonight.
I believe Donna just blended counter and grammarian, going by member by member by member, which was different, but effective. So thank
Oh,
you for
sorry.
that.
I
Yeah.
also forgot to say that people, Rahul said serendipitous twice, word of the day, and Jean said it once, and Dan said it once.
Good.
So, sorry.
Okay, great. Okay, it's a good word to have, and as we walk around our days and weeks and look for happy things to happen unexpectedly. Thank you, Donna. Then we have our joke master, and that is going to be Bob. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, Bob. All right.
Okay.
Bob. Woo.
Hang on. The little old lady. A little old lady was walking down the street, dragging two large plastic garbage bags behind her. One of the bags was ripped, and every once in a while, a $20 bill fell off the sidewalk. Noticing this, a policeman stopped her and said, "Ma'am, there's a $20 bill's falling out of that bag." "Oh, really? Dang," said the old lady. "I better go back and pick that up. You want to help me find it?" He goes, and the officer said, "Yeah." And then she told the officer, "Thanks for telling me that." And then the officer says, "No, wait a minute. Not so fast," said the cop. "Where did you get all that money? Did you steal it?" No, said the old lady. "I didn't steal it. You see, my backyard is right next to the football stadium lot. And on game days, a lot of the fans come and pee through a knot hole in the fence, right into my flower garden. It used to really tick me off, kill my flowers, you know. Then I thought, why not make the best of it? So now on game days, I stand behind the fence by the knot hole, real quiet like, with my hedge clippers. Every time a guy sticks his through the fence, I surprise him, grab a hold of it and say, "Okay, buddy, give me $20 or off it comes." "Well, that seems only fair," said the cop, kind of laughing. "Okay, good luck. Oh, by the way, what's in the other bag?" "Well, you know," said the old lady,
Oh,
"not
no.
everybody pays."
Yeah.
Bob, oh my God.
It would have been hard to blur out the words there.
Yikes. All right, well, with that somewhat graphic image in our minds, thank you, Bob, for that. I will give my general evaluator comments. I will preface by saying I was a little bit distracted because I had canine exuberance happening over here. And it happens just on Toastmasters night. I have to tell you, there's something about it. At any rate, I want to first evaluate Art, who evaluated Rahul. He gave good comments on the stories that Rahul strung together on the but why, using the but why as not only the title, but also the question that was asked throughout. He mentioned punchy sentences. I would just say, I wasn't sure, and I think this is a listening thing. Arts spent some time congratulating Rahul on having gotten all 8 million families reimbursed. And I didn't pick that up from the speech. I got that he got his family reimbursed, but he probably put a bee in somebody's bonnet about the whole thing. So anyway, I would just say I didn't hear that all 8 million families times $200 got reimbursed, but who knows? I mean, maybe it'll happen in the future. I didn't hear a suggestion. Art did give a recommendation for a book that he thought Rahul might enjoy, which maybe kind of counts in some way like that, but would have liked to hear a bit of a suggestion. Dan doing table topics. Dan reiterated the question that each person got. He started with Alex I like that he gave structure comments. It's always important. That's the more abstract role of the evaluator. He gave a couple of organizing points, but then just mentioned about structure of comments. And then he said he'd like to see if her response could have been a little more punchy right there, rather than, that's an opinion. So we'll go with that. But he gave her something to think about. Dan, evaluating Bob's, the question lost hope and then got lucky. He asked Bob to possibly give something specific. And Bob is such a good storyteller. There was probably some moment that he could fill out some little way. Of course, time is always the critical piece. So you may or may not be able to do that, but something that would just really make a story personal on some moment that Bob really went, wow, I got to pull myself together. And this is why. Rahul had the question about luck is luck is equal to opportunity meeting preparation. And Dan just basically said, wow, that's such a good story that Rahul has, but maybe not twice in the same meeting. We'd love to hear more about it at another time, different story, but kind of a small point. And it was obviously on our mind. So Dan was giving suggestions to everyone. By the way, timer is doing 3 to 4. Bob, are you doing 3 to 4 on me? Okay. Then he evaluated me, wants me to organize more at the front before I open my mouth, which was, it was pretty good. I was actually really trying to think because I was thinking more than I usually do. And finally, art. I really like that art, was an abstract comment on the structure of how Dan took an either or, and he worked on one side, fleshed it all out. Then he worked on the other side and fleshed it all out. And then he brought them closer and closer together and said that, and ended up, in fact, as a continuum rather than an either or. I really liked that art appreciated that structure and the way that worked. And he also commented that Dan did have a good summary. He nailed his landing. Did not have a suggestion for Dan that I could recall. So that's my evaluation of evaluators tonight. Thank you. Yeah. And now with that, I'll turn it back quickly over to our Toastmaster for coming down the wire here.
Yay! Thank you so much, Jean. We had a great meeting tonight, and now it's time to give the award. So let's hear the drum roll. Topics speaker for the night is Dan. Woohoo! You see, I knew that the best was for last. I knew. And we do not have any evaluators, right? Qualified. So Dan is the winner for the night. So thank everyone. Thank you for this beautiful meeting. Rahul, congratulations on your speech. It was a great speech. Donna, thank you so much for all the questions and table topics. It really got the meeting going and we got to know even more of each other. So with that, I'll call our president, Art, to the closing comments.
Thank you, Alice. This was an inspiring meeting, for sure. It was a great topic. Luck turned out to be a very lucky topic for us to speak on, to think on. It's exciting to see such good. I believe that the quality of the answers that you spoke about, Donna, how inspiring they were a result of the success that we're having in creating that supportive, positive learning environment, which is the objective that we're aiming for, and it's a measure of the success we're having in doing it. I'm on a constant prowl to find more people that want to experience this and join us. And my efforts will start paying off shortly, I'm sure.
Mm. Mhm.
Alex, I hope that your class schedules permit you to join us frequently. It's a big missing when you're gone.
I feel it too.
I encourage everybody to invite guests. I'm doing a lot of that. Anybody have anything else they want to? I'm going to declare the meeting adjourned. It's a great pleasure to see all of you. I look forward to next Tuesday.
Thank you. Okay.